And I can share my screen so that we can all see it. So I'll do share screen and click on this, view slideshow. Okay, so oops, let's start. Okay, so my name is Allie for Tony, and Nancy, you said your name was? Nancy, okay. And my presentation is the impact of fiber and a discussion about how fiber can impact blood sugar levels and the way we manage our health. So like I said, my name is Allie. I tell you a little bit about myself. I am a dietetic intern currently with Sodexo's dietetic internship, and I'm in my wellness rotation here with Skinny Jean Project. And I'm originally from Maine, and I got my bachelor's of science in food science and human nutrition from the University of Maine before moving out west. And yeah, I'm very interested in behavioral health, which is why I picked Skinny Jean Project and motivational interviewing and kind of like the science behind how we make decisions and how we change our habits. So I'm very excited to be a part of learning from you guys. So, and my favorite food is avocados, I think, because I think they're so diverse and they're super nutrient dense and they're delicious, especially here in California. And yeah, can make them into, I think probably my favorite food is avocado toast or making like smoothies, creamy smoothies with avocados. So now I'll take the time to just kind of, you guys can both introduce yourselves and tell me what your favorite food is.
I could go first. So I'm Nancy. I work with Skinny Jean for the past over a year. My favorite food, I want to say, is berries. All the berries, the raspberries, blueberries, strawberries.
Yeah.
I love any of them, and you can eat them. Right now, I mainly eat them with like smoothies. But since it is getting hot, I think I'm gonna start eating like blueberries or strawberries cut up with vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
My favorite summer treat. So yeah. Tony, you want to tell us what your favorite food is?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My name is Tony Ingram, and I'm part of the group that Nancy does with the Skinny Jean project. Anyway, my favorite is actually both of those. I love avocados and I love berries, especially blueberries and strawberries. Blackberries, I'm eating them, but I'm not so crazy about them, or raspberries.
Yum. Super
I agree.
delicious, both of those.
I agree. Blueberries and strawberries are my favorite of all
Yep.
the berries.
Yeah. Well, great. Nice to meet you both. And so it's just us three here, just to give you a just so you know that. And yeah, we'll carry on. So what is fiber? To talk a little bit about fiber, just kind of to give us a background, dietary fiber is actually the part of the plant that when we ingest it, it cannot be completely broken down or digested, but it provides many health benefits for us. So do either of you know like any of the health benefits of fiber off the top of your head?
Well, it keeps you very full.
Right. Yep. That's definitely one. Tony, did you get a chance to review the fiber lesson yet?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I reviewed it and I kind of took a few things from that into this presentation, which was interesting, just to see some specifics and kind of to see the things that I did my own research on, but that you guys were able to view as
yeah,
as clients.
Well, and the reason I say full is because I know my doctor's always saying have more fiber, but when I started this Skinny Jean Project thing, then I started really trying to do enough fiber like they said, and oh my gosh, when I have that much fiber, it's like I'm stuffed all the time.
Right,
it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy how it can really help satiate us and really make us full. And but just having the correct foods with the correct servings is really helpful. So moving forward with the correct foods, so foods, high fiber foods are basically fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and whole grains. Those are the the richest foods in fiber. And when fiber is ingested with enough water, it slows down the amount of time that food moves through our body. So, why would this matter? Why would we want to move at a slower rate? And you nailed it, like you said it. When food moves at a slower rate, it helps our bodies feel full and actually prevents a spike in our blood sugar levels. It also acts as sort of a sponge by removing by helping remove buildup in the colon and add bulk to our stool so that we can have a healthy digestion and prevent the occurrence from any chronic bowel diseases. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So can either of you think of a time when you had a meal that was full of fiber and how it made you feel? Or kind of a time when you didn't, when you had a meal that lacked fiber and how it made you feel?
I could think of what comes to mind is breakfast, like before and then. Before, my breakfast would be like probably just a cup of coffee and like a piece of bread. No, not a piece of bread, like a frozen waffle, you know, those like those Eggos they could put in the toaster
Yep.
and good to go. Yeah. That was my go-to breakfast during college, or a bagel with cream cheese and coffee. And now I definitely do either like fruit smoothies with like a cup of oats or overnight oats, with or like Greek yogurt with lots of fruits. So I started adding more um, those types of things to my daily breakfast, and I definitely help me feel fuller and longer. There's less time in between. I eat later than I used to before, where I used to get hungry right away, and now it's more easier for me to. It takes me longer to get hungry.
Ah, totally. How about you, Tony?
Yeah, when I started like doing overnight oatmeal, and then in the morning I get up and I put it in there with some blueberries and strawberries, just like that picture actually, with a little cinnamon, because I like cinnamon and I know that's good for regulating your insulin. But so when I do that, it's like I can go to work, and at lunchtime I'm not even hungry yet for lunch. Before I'd be starving by 10 a.m. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, totally. And basically what I wrote down was every time I travel was a big one for me. I always crave a salad or like a big nutrient dense, meal, and a salad is just my go-to because it's, crispy. I'll add beans to it. I'll add nuts. And because I'm typically eating airport food, or, on vacation, you're kind of eating more processed foods and things. So I always notice that when I come home from a trip, the first thing I go to is either a salad bar, or I make my own salad at home, or I order a salad out at a restaurant, because I feel like I really get all that fiber and those nutrients and that I've lost from traveling. So
yeah,
good job. So moving right along. So fiber and prediabetes. So, I know we briefly talked about how fiber can prevent a spike in blood sugar levels, which is beneficial for preventing diabetes, but more specifically, how does this work? So because fiber helps us stay fuller longer, that in turn can help us eat less and promote weight loss. So, because weight gain is one of the biggest risk factors for type 2 diabetes. So eating less will really help prevent this occurrence. Because when we're full, it's just as simple as we're not going to eat as much, because the fiber has made us feel full and satiated. So we're just naturally going to eat less. And the high blood sugars from diabetes can cause damage to the blood vessels of the heart, and over time cause heart disease. Fiber helps prevent against heart disease by binding to cholesterol and removing it from the body before it gets in the bloodstream. So what is cholesterol? Why does that matter? Cholesterol is actually a waxy fat-like substance that does give us some benefits, but when it gets too high and when too much of it builds up, it can block our arteries and the blood flowing to our heart, which can lead to heart disease. So fiber really helps remove excess cholesterol that can build up with an unhealthy diet or inactivity. So it can be really helpful. So all of our organs, especially our heart, are getting the proper blood flow. Now that we know some more benefits, is this something that you've heard of before, or was that new information?
No, I've heard it.
Yeah, heard it. Good. So yeah, just kind of reiterating like what fiber can do and really why it's important. And I just kind of added a picture over here of high fiber foods, and I thought it was really colorful and pretty because color is very important, and we'll get to that shortly. So how much fiber do we need each day? So the dietary guidelines are as follows. For women, ages 31 to 50, we need 25 grams a day. And for ages 51 plus, we need 22 grams a day. And with men, ages 31 to 50, we need 31 grams a day. And ages 51 plus, we need 28 grams a day. And this has all been research that people have done over the years. This research is constantly changing. So this is the current dietary guidelines, and maybe one day they'll add more or less fiber, but for now, these are the guidelines. And do either of you feel like you are already meeting these fiber requirements already?
No, I try. And when I do, the days that I do, I feel great. but it's really difficult actually for me to do that.
Yeah. Why is it difficult?
I don't, just because I'm rushing around so much that unless
Yeah.
I plan it out, when I plan it out, it's not hard at all. But if I
Right.
don't plan it out, it's hard.
Definitely. I understand that too. I think meal planning and prepping is one of the biggest things, but it requires time. And in this world, who has the time for it? Right. You know, it's very hard. So to show you on the next slide, kind of what those, you know, grams look like just in food, raspberries, 1 cup would be 8 grams. And with an avocado, 1 medium avocado is 13 grams, which is a lot. So for someone like me, you know, I probably eat at least a medium. I eat about a half of an avocado a day, maybe sometimes even more. Or split peas, 1 cup cooked split peas is 16 grams. So, you know, if we're looking back at the 22, you know, 25 grams a day, that's about half with that. So it's doable, but then, you know, with pear, it's 6.5 grams. So it's a little bit less. So it definitely,
Yeah.
you know, we definitely.
Yeah, I've changed the way I eat certain things. Like today I had for a snack, I had a pear. And instead of having refried beans, I have black beans. And instead of regular rice, I have brown rice and, you know, that kind of stuff. And so that helps.
That definitely helps. That's great. Yeah, just like little changes like that are super mindful. And we're going to get to that too. Just choosing brown, you know, rice, brown wheat bread, brown pastas over white can just help add fiber in, as simple as that. And another thing is just where to look for fiber on a food label when you are buying pasta or bread or even crackers, things of that sort. It actually falls under the total carbohydrate, as you can see here, the dietary fiber. This is 5 grams per serving. So we see that our serving size is 1 cup of whatever this food was. And I wanted to add in my notes that I took from your fiber lesson was that when you're looking at fiber, if there are 2.5 to 4.75 grams or more per serving, the food is considered a good source of fiber. And if there are 5 grams or more per serving, the food is considered high fiber. So this food right here would be considered high fiber if you are following the serving size, if you're having 1 cup of whatever this is. Which we don't know, maybe a cereal, maybe some crackers or some oats or something like that. So moving away, hold on. So incorporating more fiber. So how do we do that? So one of these I've done a lot of presentations over the year working in the nutrition field on ways to incorporate more fiber and simple ways to do it for everyone. And these are the 4 things that I thought were the 4 points that I thought were the most beneficial and the most helpful for everyone. And the first one was to choose whole grains over refined grains, like choosing brown rice over white and wheat bread over white and wheat pasta over white pasta. Do either of you currently buy all of your grains whole?
You know, we've switched. Where am I? I'm trying to fix my phone here. We've switched our pasta to whole wheat pasta, and we get the pasta that's made in Italy, so it's actually really a nice quality. So, and we were enjoying that. You know, and we buy steel cut, you know, regular oats for oatmeal, and we make them from scratch like that. And you know, my flour, if I bake anything, which I don't do anymore because I always have to put some kind of sugar in it, so I don't even do that. But I did do whole wheat and some almond flour too.
Great, that's awesome. Good for you.
Oh, I can't eat wheat because I have
Yeah.
celiac disease. But some changes I do instead of just buying like gluten-free pasta is I buy chickpea pasta.
Yeah, me too.
That
Me
has
too.
higher fiber than just a regular gluten-free pasta. So it's making those
Definitely.
changes. But I definitely get most of my fiber from fruits and
Yep.
veggies.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I buy Ezekiel bread, which it's not gluten-free, but it's pre-digested, so it's sprouted. So it's a little easier on the digestion for me, and it's all whole grains, and I feel like I get a lot of fiber that way, along with fruits and veggies and beans and nuts and everything. So my next point was to add beans to soups and salads. So I'm a big component of just adding, you know, a handful of beans and throwing it on a salad or throwing it into some soup that I'll make with just like leftover veggies and some veggie stock. And I like to cook, so I kind of just create recipes and just put things together. And I know if I'm having substantial beans in there, I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna leave me feeling full when just a regular salad or soup might make me normally feeling hungry in about an hour or so.
And chickpeas are really good in salad too. They're high in fiber.
Definitely. Yeah, I love chickpeas. And I actually started making this this salad. It's like chickpea tuna, and I'm using air quotes here because it's like
Ooh,
you mash up chickpeas, and then you kind of put some, mayo in there, and I like to put red onion and celery, and I'll put some like cumin and other spices, and I'll have it with on bread with lettuce and tomato, and it's like a vegetarian version of tuna salad.
ooh, yum.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can email you the recipe after if you want. This is just something I created, but there's plenty online. You can just even Google like chickpea tuna recipes. And I think it doesn't take long at all. I think the hardest part is just draining the chickpeas and then kind of mashing them each with a fork or like a potato masher to get them the consistency of like the tuna,
Right.
Yeah, and the next was just like fiber rich snacks, snacking on things like nuts and berries or celery and carrot sticks rather than high calorie and low nutrient foods with little fiber like chips, crackers, and cookies. That will spike blood sugar levels and really don't have much nutritional value, and they don't leave you feeling full. Yeah, and the last one was just eating the rainbow, and this one was really important to me to note because I like this because I can use it at all age levels. I've done this presentation with children, with adults, and with seniors, and everyone really understands that if they eat the rainbow, if they make a point to eat all of the colors in the rainbow each day or as much as they can, then you are, you're gonna get enough fiber because those are the fibrous foods. Where processed foods are the ones that are more brown and white in color with little fiber.
That's
Um,
true. Yes.
yeah, so you're like, oh, I'm just, I'm picking this. Obviously not like Skittles or something, but when you're eating fruits and veggies and beans are different colors, and not so much nuts. I mean, nuts are usually pretty brown, but mostly just fruits and vegetables. I mean, that's why I put this color of the rainbow chard in, because it's just so beautiful and packed with fiber. So, and one disclaimer I wanted to note too, when talking about, adding the fiber or, eating the rainbow and adding fiber into the diet was to incorporate it slowly. Because if you're not, because it's not digested, and it can cause some GI issues like gas and bloating. So to minimize this, it's best to just add it in like slowly each day until your body, your GI system has worked up to being able to eat the recommended dietary allowance of fiber. So you're not, if you have a pretty processed diet right now, which it doesn't seem like any of us do, but if you're making this for your children or your significant other, giving them tons of fiber so quickly can really help them, it can leave them feeling like giving them some gas or some bloating. So to do it slowly is going to be really helpful and important, because our bodies are, just like anything, your body's not used to it. So it kind of takes a little bit to adjust.
I started taking psyllium pills too.
Oh, good. Cool. And what
Just
is that? How has that helped you?
Well, it's only been a couple days.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah.
But it's
that's
just, she wants me to get, because I'm going in for a colonoscopy too, and I already have, is it diverticulitis?
Mhm.
Yeah. So my doctor wanted me to start taking more fiber, and
Yeah.
I keep trying to eat it, but
Mhm. Well, and if with diverticulitis, there's some stuff that's inflamed right now, so
Mhm.
that's going to be really important for you to incorporate it slowly, so you're not getting all of this fiber where you're just going to the bathroom or you're getting
yeah,
gas and stuff that could upset that. But over time, it will definitely, the answer to that is having a higher fiber diet, so that you can go to the bathroom regularly, and you can push things, move the things around that are stuck in that colon.
yeah, exactly.
So what's next? How do we put these recommendations into action? So I thought, because I was told by Miss Alyssa about your challenges over at Skinny Jean, I thought the June project could be, I thought of two things. And one of them would be to meal prep high fiber meals a minimum of 2 times a week. So using all the recommendations we just talked about with, adding beans to soups or salads, or adding, whole grain, toast with avocado, or, big, just eating the rainbow colors with each meal, and the snacks that we talked about, and taking a photo to hold yourself accountable, or submitting the photo to your coach was one challenge. And the other one was just simply buying whole grains over refined grains on your grocery shopping trips. This can be as easy as bread and oats and pastas and crackers. And these will help the blood sugar not spike as much as they would with white grains, and which are refined grains. And you can also take a photo to hold yourself accountable, or submit it to your coach. How does that how do those goals sound? Manageable?
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty, not too challenging, but also like, okay, I can do this, let's see how it goes,
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I guess I just had a thank you page. So this is where we can kind of just leave it open for questions, comments, or concerns from the presentation. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate the fact that because fiber isn't digested in our body and isn't able to break down, it slows down the rate at which food moves through the body, and in turn prevents a spike in the blood sugar levels, which are helpful for preventing diabetes. So if you think of it this way, when you eat white bread, it has little to no fiber, and it gets absorbed very quickly into the bloodstream, and thus causes a large spike in blood sugar level and blood glucose levels. Whereas wheat bread will take a little bit longer to process, and because it has more fiber intact, and when it moves through the body, so it will, cause a slower rate at which the blood sugars are elevated. And it will be more manageable for preventing diabetes and keeping us full. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'll kind of leave it up to you guys. Do you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to share?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I tend to eat too fast. Like I'm always in a rush to get through my meal and whatever. And my husband keeps saying that that's so bad. And I just don't know whether it is or not. What is your opinion?
That's a really great question, because I'm the same way. I actually eat really fast too, and I've been trying to eat slower. I think one of the things with eating fast is when we eat really fast, it takes, I forgot the exact amount of time, but it takes about like 20 or 30 minutes for our brain to actually catch up with our body, for our brain to tell us that we're full. So if we eat really fast, then our brain's not actually registering that we're full. So we're actually eating more. Whereas if we eat slower, our brain is able to catch up and be like, oh wait, I'm full now, so you don't eat as much. It's as simple as that. Because I find
Makes
myself,
sense.
right. I find myself eating a whole plate of like veggies and tons of fiber, and then I'm like, I'm still hungry, and I'm like, no, Allie, you just ate that really fast. Just drink some water and sit and let it digest for a second, and check in about 10 minutes, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to be like, okay, I'm full. It's just me eating fast, because we all love food and we love to eat, and food is very emotional for people. It's not just, like, oh, let's eat, let's enjoy this meal. It's like, let's get it down to the next thing. And this is my comfort. And this is where I go to feel good. And, so it can be very triggering for a lot of people for many reasons. So that's very common. You're not alone there.
Oh, okay.
I definitely do that too.
You do?
It's time to stop. I think it's when I'm like on my phone or like speaking with someone and I'm distracted and just keep shoveling in.
Totally. Yep. And especially when we're eating alone too, like at our desk, like where there's no one to like conversate with. And I was reading the study once that said you should eat at least 3 meals a week with people. And I live alone. And I have friends and stuff, but I don't have a romantic partner. So I eat the majority of my meals alone. And I noticed that too, like 3 meals a week, like I might hit that, but sometimes I don't. So it's interesting because there's oftentimes when we eat with people, you're going to eat slower because you're not going to finish your meal in front of the, when the other person is eating, and you're conversating and you're kind of sharing the experience together. So that was kind of interesting information that I was like, wow, I should maybe make a point to like, share meals more so that I can, eat slower, and just more mindfulness around eating too. That will really help your body feel better too,
Well, I share dinners with my husband, but he always looks at me and goes, I'm still halfway through my food and you're done and you're clearing the dishes.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And that of course happens too when you get comfortable with someone. It's like, you kind of eat at your own paces and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, I hope, I understand that. And that could be one of your challenges too, I mean, just a personal challenge for you, like trying to slow down and, pacing yourself with your husband. So you could have something to guide it with, and noticing if you eat less, noticing, hey, did I eat less here?
Oh yeah. Cause many times I eat my meal if we go out or something, and I eat it really quick. And then I'm like so stuffed. I go, why did I do that? I could have eaten half of that.
Right.
So that's completely the reason.
Yeah, I know. Same here. If I'm, if I'm going out to a restaurant where I'm like looking forward to it, I'm like, I'm eating all of this because I haven't, this is my treat or something for the week, or I've been looking forward to all
Yeah,
this sushi because it's like different from food I cook at home and I'm going to eat it all. But it shouldn't be kind of like the reward thing gets tricky with food because it's putting food at like it's kind of like playing games with food when it should just be like, oh, I'm going to stop when I'm full and I'm going to be able to eat this again. It's okay,
it's true. Yeah, for sure.
but I think we all have challenges with that. So that's where I think Skinny Jean is a really wonderful organization that kind of practices mindfulness and behavior approaches to eating,
Mhm.
with different topics. So you kind of learn your pattern, learn your behaviors and what you can do to change with of course information and knowledge, but what you can do to change your pattern so that you can be, healthier and feel good and help prevent chronic diseases, which we're also susceptible to as we age. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you both for listening. I know that was kind of quick because it was just us three, but I hope you were, I hope that made sense and things were easy to understand and it wasn't, too much information, but enough to like kind of get the gist of why fiber is important down and the main points and just some things to take away and some things to kind of add into your day-to-day lives that can make it, make fiber more enjoyable, which both of you seem like you enjoy eating fiber and incorporating already into your day-to-day. But yeah, so thank you. And if there's no more questions, then I can turn it over to you, Nancy.